Hello everyone, how are we doing? Doing my little checkup as I usually start the streams with. Sure the volume is good and all that stuff. Doo-doo-doo. Yep, I am live. How's it going, everybody? Yeah, yeah, so I missed out a little bit on the update when it first came out, but no big deal. Happy to play it now. Happy to be here. I kind of just did it in my own personal time, as you guys could tell, so we are well into it. I got the gear and all that stuff, but I think it's a good time to cover, just what the heck the mod is. Also, yeah, of course, we got the Ivory Lagiacrus retexture mod going too, so that's just to spice it up a little bit. Doesn't change any of the moves necessarily. As you can tell, looks pretty nice. Looks pretty, but um, still a very good visual mod. Very happy with it. Definitely worth showcasing on the channel for sure. So, and as soon I was gonna live stream Lagiacrus anyway, but now that we got this mod, it's like, oh, I definitely better. Yeah, and for starters, we'll just run with the optional quests. I got some tempered investigations to up the ante a little bit later on, but and as we know, dual blades, now if you evade with dual blades and hit your demon flurry, you can go straight into the second hit of it, which I am loving. I gotta get used to it, but I am loving the idea of it. So yeah, it's gonna take some practice, because I think the meta for a while was just to use Screw Slicer whenever you land that dual blades attack. So you land the dual blades attack and you just do a Screw Slicer. I don't know if it was like the meta, but I mean, I saw a lot of speedrunners doing that very often. Yeah, so that's what we're practicing with the dual blades. I haven't made any new builds for other weapons, really, so I think this is pretty much what we'll stick with. Even though I kind of do want to play the charge blade. Now that they apparently made AAD and SAAD viable, which is the style of charge blade I want to play. I don't want to play like the Savage Axe style. I kind of felt forced into it. Oh dang, I didn't mean to get up, I think. Yep, playing like crap, that's okay. I did have a pretty funny experience the other day, though. I was like fighting the tempered 5-8 star or whatever version of Lagiacrus, and he was kicking my butt, and I'm like, maybe I'm finally like bad at this game again. Maybe I'm not any good. And then I was like, alright, I'm gonna try, and then I just fucking destroyed him. I'm like, oh, okay, no, I'm still good when I want to be. But yeah, I hope everyone's been doing well. Haven't really done much on this channel for a while, as you guys know. I kind of go through long periods of not really caring, so that's just kind of what happened, I really didn't even pop this game in for almost probably 2 whole months, I think. And and that's why, I mean, that's one reason why people were giving it such negative reviews is if you took 2 months off, you really didn't miss anything. There wasn't anything to do after a while. That's another thing we could talk about though too, is how it's getting review bombed. And I think it's a little just and a little unjust, I guess. It's kind of hard to say for sure. I mean, okay, I think, well, okay, if you still are having performance issues at this point, I do think that is something that, like, yeah, that's not really fair to players. Not everyone's gonna have an elite rig or some kind of great rig or anything like that. And, you know, if your game's been out for, I don't even know how many months now. Let me, 4 or 5 months? If it's been out for 4 or 5 months, I think at that point it's fair to say that you should, you know, you should have fixed a lot of these performance issues by now. I don't know if that was most of people's complaints, though. I don't know if most people were complaining about just performance issues. Oh, wait, crap, I gotta land. Huzzah! Dummy. Trying to get to the back. Oh, whatever, I'll just go for the head. Dang, you can't even see me. You know, so I totally get that. If you're not even able to play the game, and an industry standard lately has been so much to the effect that, like, you know, they might release a buggy game, you might not be able to play it, but after a week or two, usually they fix like the majority of performance issues, and then let's say for whatever reason Capcom is having a little bit of trouble. Okay, maybe a month, maybe 2 months. But yeah, if people are still having performance issues, that's not good. I guess I was going to mention that contention with the negative reviews first, because that seems like the least, what would you call it? Least controversial, as far as, like, yeah, I mean, no one's going to sit there and defend, like, oh, it's not, you know, it's not terrible that people still can't play. Like, obviously, you know, if you buy the game, you should be able to play it. But then on the other end, it is the content drought. You know, people want to spend, you know, a quadrillion hours playing this game. They love it so much. And people feel like there's not enough to do in the game. And like I was just saying, you know, I had taken 2 months off and not played it, not popped it in. I got 100% achievements. You know, I've hunted 50 of Soulsword Monster, and Mizutsune and Zoshia came out, and I hunted maybe yeah, I hunted a bunch of them. I might have hunted 30 Zoshia. Let's see, 30 Zoshia and over 30 Mizutsune, I think. And so, you know, they dropped some content, and I absolutely, like, I played the crap out of it. You know, it did keep me occupied for a while, and I was learning all the other weapons and doing all kinds of other things, but yeah, after a while, you know. And then I think my biggest contention with Capcom is probably, it's something like this, right? Okay, you have a content drought, and that's a little, like, acceptable, right? Because, you know, I don't know, people are just gonna bulldoze through a game, and they're just gonna break through it. Oh, did I already break the back? I think I did. My biggest question is, how hard is it to make content, right? It seems like a content drought that is voluntarily imposed. It's not necessarily, you know, and maybe I'd have to talk to more modders. You know, how hard is it for modders to make a monster? But yeah, that's my biggest question. How hard is it to make content? Now, obviously, Lagiacrus, this is a top tier production value in all sense of the word. You know, a new skeleton probably for this fight. A lot of kinks they had to work out. All kinds of stuff. Like, Lagiacrus, I can understand. This monster took a long time. All right, that's fair. But how about and then Seregios? You might say that with Seregios too. Seregios might have taken a while to make. Let's just give him that benefit of the doubt. You know what I've been seeing with I've been playing a lot of Marvel Rivals, and the biggest thing with Marvel Rivals is that they, you know, they come out with a new hero every month. And that was after they cut their staff. So the game comes out, they cut their staff like 80 or 90% or something like that, because the game is done. But they're still coming out with a new... And now he's dead. But yeah, they're still coming out with a new monster or they're coming out with a new hero every month or so. So and they could probably make more, but yeah, they're just, you know, one hero a month. They're kind of always giving you more to do. Whereas the rate of content updates for Monster Hunter, it's like maybe 1 or 2 new monsters every 2 months, and then they give us an Arc Tempered something. Yeah, I feel like they could have a different strategy though. Like, what if we just add variants? You know, what if we just you know, came out with Azure Rathalos? You know, just something, right? Just something new. And Azure Rathalos is a little lame. And that wouldn't be as hype as, obviously, Lagiacrus or Seregios. But, you know, it would be cheap for them to make. Like, oh, we're gonna release a variant of Rathalos. It's gonna be Azure Rathalos. It's just something to keep you occupied in between title updates. Well, they don't really do it. Their strategy is like every 2 or 3 months, release a content patch with about 2 or 3 monsters, and then have an Arc Tempered monster go in a month after. And it's not terrible. Like, I'm not gonna complain like super hard, but yeah, I do feel as though they could have a different content strategy. But that's what people are feeling frustrated with. And I also feel like my biggest feeling with Capcom is that they could make this monster have like 80, or this monster. They could make this game have 80 monsters, and it wouldn't be that difficult. That's my feeling with them, is that they're really holding back the goods, so to speak. All right, well, I would totally run over and do one of these two, but this is a Lagiacrus stream, so we're at least gonna fight Lagiacrus for a while. Okay, we got 2 4s and a normal. Wow, we do not have enough good Lagiacrus quests. All right, I guess we'll do this one. But yeah, that's my biggest gripe, is that I feel as though Capcom, like, how many monsters does this game have? Like 27, 30, 31 or something like that? Like, I really feel like they're holding back the goods. And they are, I don't know, it feels like they're trying to get away with, we're going to give them a lot less, and we're going to make them savor what we do give them, rather than giving them more than they can handle, kind of thing. It feels like kind of their strategy. And with these things, you always have to, like, look at and kind of try and maybe balance out, you know, things like expansions and such, but no, I think that's what people are they're running into, is like, oh, it's been 2 or 3 months, and now we finally have something to do, but I don't really feel like doing it anymore, or I'm not really excited about it, or it's not super hyper or anything like that. Yeah, and I totally get it. Ooh, is this Gold Crown? All right, binoculars time. Oh, it is a Gold Crown, but I already have the Gold Crown big one. Yep. I'm not Gold Crown hunting anymore, but where's that bigger one? Use the environment. Yep. But yeah, so that's one of the biggest issues, I think, is yeah, it feels like they could give us so much more, and yet they're not. I don't know, some people are upset that we don't have any Elder Dragons. Personally, I love that we don't have, or I guess we got Jin Dahad and Zoshia, but you know what I mean, though, like, we don't have the typical kind of Elder Dragon. I'm actually a huge fan of that. I believe in saving that for Well, like, this will be the first game where they actually get to make Elder Dragons as scary as they were supposed to be. That's my personal feeling, is that they're trying to make Elder Dragons, like, as scary as they wanted them to be, essentially. Because I remember in World, they were just a part of the story, and you just ended up, like, you had to beat them to beat the story, so they weren't that tough. Whereas if they haven't released Elder Dragons at this point, I feel like that's likely because they're going to try and actually make them, like, really, 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 really flipping hard. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think about the whole review bomb thing? I think that's... I don't know. I empathize with some of the frustration, for sure. Yeah. And, well, that's the thing. The game has the depth, right? Like, we want to play this game all the time. This is a lot of people's favorite game. World was my favorite game of all time. We just want to play it all the time. But, it's not really... They're not really giving us enough to do that. And that's the interesting thing, is that it's... The review bombs are happening because, like, people love the game so much that they want more of it. But they're not getting as much of it as they want. That's the thing that you don't get with most you know, most games that are review bombed or whatever, have negative reviews on Steam. It's, this game sucks, I don't like it. And this game is the opposite. It's that this game is, well, maybe not the direct opposite, but it's that this game is awesome. I want more of it, and they're not giving me it. So that's how the review bombing in this game is very fundamentally different than review bombing in virtually every other game. Because, like, who's really sitting there complaining about the combat or the lack of depth, or, you know what I mean? Like no one's actually complaining about how bad the game is. Everyone's like, no, this game is great. I played it for almost 300 hours, and now I don't have anything to do. It's like, well, by most game standards, 300 hours would be, like, that alone would be like, oh yeah, this is a 10 out of 10 game because it made me want to play it that long. So that was my other biggest observation, is that, like, people have such high expectations and standards for Monster Hunter that it's actually, like, insane. And I'm not saying that that's bad or anything. I'm not saying that they shouldn't review bomb the game or that they should love the game. I'm not gonna say that they shouldn't feel the way that they do. They're totally allowed to feel the way they do. Dude, what's happening right now? Oh, okay, there we go. I'm like, am I gonna get revived? Really couldn't tell. Oh man, this is a first. I haven't fought him at night yet, so I'm actually really happy that I'm able to fight him at night. Oh. Okay, let's... Nice. Oh. But yeah, because okay, because you look at the Steam reviews that are negative, right? And the vast majority of the ones that I saw, anyway, but they're negative, right? But what's the play amount? And it'll say like 200 plus hours. I'm giving this game a thumbs down. I played it for 200 to 300 hours. You know, and most people would not. It's just not something that happens most of the time with other games, you know. With other games, you know, if you're giving it a negative review, maybe you played it for 10, 20, you know, usually a lot less than that. Or maybe you're giving it a negative review after you finish the story. You know, that's very possible. You finish the story and then you give it a negative review. Alright, he's leaving. Oh? I thought he was leaving. There he goes. But yeah, so that's how it's very fundamentally different from, I don't know, a lot of different kinds of experiences like this. Like, review bombs happen when they come out in a really bad state, or when it has bad microtransactions. I mean, there's just like a quadrillion different things that happen. There you go. Finally learned how to get back to the back. Oh shit. Hey, there we go. That was not at all what I was doing. But yeah, yeah, just a very different thing happening altogether. I guess it's time to eat. But yeah, and that's not what's happening with this game, though. What's happening with this game is that I love this game, I want to play more, and they're not really letting me play more. And it's also that, like, I don't know if people are learning to get ahead of the curve, but there's all this grinding that you did in World that no longer served a purpose as soon as the Iceborne expansion came out. You know, for whatever reason, they're just that attack jewel that you spent 100 or 200 hours farming on Monster Hunter World. You get like 20 of them in Iceborne. And then, you know, and that was a big reason why I didn't farm at all in Rise or Sunbreak, because I knew that there was going to be a new kind of melding at the end of man, I'm really bad at dodging that roar. Yeah, I knew that there would be, like, if you're gonna do any farming in the game, you have to wait until the last patch of Sunbreak. Because I knew they were gonna have a brand new kind of farming that just gave you all the best charms and talismans, like, right away. And that was exactly the case, as some of you may remember. You know, as soon as the last update with the Amatsu came out, we got a new charming meld that just gave us way better talismans than anything else we were getting in the game. Oh wow, that actually killed me. I didn't think that usually doesn't combo. Like, one doesn't combo into the other usually. At least that's what I've noticed, is that usually one doesn't really combo into the other. Usually you get hit by the first one and then not the second one. Or something like that. Alright, I'll turn up the game volume just a little bit. Okay. Okay, cool. But, yeah. Oh, wait, still too low? Or, well, I suppose I'm not fighting anything. You know, and then I'm getting that here too, where it's like, okay, basically everything I do to farm in this game right now is just going to be rendered useless when the expansion comes out. And then, so I don't know if people are... I mean, this could be way into the weeds, but I don't know if people are subversively kind of like already understanding subconsciously, like, oh, they're holding back the final version of the game. And it's like, well, yeah. You know, some of that's understandable, obviously, but... Oh, dude, come on. Dude, don't... Oh my god, is he seriously just gonna... I was gonna say, is he seriously just gonna, like, come in and kill me twice? Dude. Wow, I cannot believe he was not under that thing. Okay. I might get the tornado. I might get the tornado from this guy. Oh, man. Yep. Dude, he is not even giving me a chance to play. I might get the tornado. I might fail. I might fail the quest, actually. That's funny, because I thought I was pretty reasonably good at underwater combat. But, yeah, they're just not letting me do it. That is an interesting... Yeah, he's like not even letting me. So that's one move I don't totally know how to avoid. I know that you can descend or ascend, and then that kind of that might get you out of the way. But anyway, so that was all about the review bombing stuff. I might revisit it later, but yeah, other than that, the content patch was pretty good. I didn't cover Akuma, so I was actually shockingly impressed by Akuma. Unfortunately, I made the build and I practiced and I got reasonably good with him, and it's not like, yeah, he's not really great or meta or anything like that. Like, I wanted him to be a little bit better so I could actually, like, play him. Dude, oh my gosh. They're just not letting me play, man. Okay, here we go. Tornado time, because I failed the DPS check. For those of you for those of you who haven't seen it. That's all I was trying to do. I was just trying to make sure you guys have all seen it, you know. I was showcasing it. Clearly it wasn't just user error. There we go. I have not done that bad underwater in quite some time. Okay. But yeah, so Akuma was really nice. I thought he was better in the meta. I made his set. I made the gear. I put on the talismans, and then I fought like the hardest Mizitsune I could. And yeah, it just wasn't, I don't know, maybe it took 20 minutes or so. I landed offsets, I landed the wounds, like, I don't know, it just wasn't, it just doesn't seem to do, you know, because, like, well, if you see my, my Abyssal Lagiacrus video, that is a max tempered monster. That is, Lagiacrus 8 and then 5 stars. Like, that's as hard as Lagiacrus gets. I did that in like 13 minutes. And that really wasn't me just trying to speed run or anything, but yeah, but if Akuma takes like over 20, then it's just clearly not. I mean, I could just be really bad, but I don't think it was that. I just think it's like, you know, just doesn't do enough. Man, I need to focus. You know what? I might just capture him just to make sure I'm gonna wuss out on this one. I'm talking too much. Oh, dang. Yeah, I don't typically capture. Well, hell, I'll show you guys. I do not typically Alright, captured 5, hunted 24. But yeah, Akuma was really, really good. Uh, Clearly, like, it was funny because, like, well, we had a month where the crossover was supposed to carry us, and everyone's rolling their eyes like, oh, Capcom crossover, lame quest, layered armor, and I'm like, oh, no one, and people had no idea that it was gonna be, like, awesome. Like, it's actually gonna be a quest. I mean, it's not like the spectacular quest or anything, but this is a quest where you talk to Akuma and you get to meet him, and you know, and then he gives you mad shit for being a wuss, and then, you know, he teaches you to be a fighter like him, and, you know, and then, secret 15th weapon, like, holy crap, that is awesome. Yeah, and that's what I was hoping, and, I've heard this in other places, but people think that's them prototyping a 5th weapon in the future, and I'm heavily inclined to agree. I think they are definitely prototyping fleeting bubbles. Is this oh, they just released the Mizutsune speed quest thing. Yeah, I'll definitely, I mean, I'll hit A. Do they have it? Oh, is this a new one? Oh, new quest. Okay, well, I mean, this is definitely a Lagiacrus scream, so, you know, unless someone requests me to do that, I'm not gonna do it. Just gonna fight Ivory Lagiacrus. But, yeah, so I'd definitely say they're prototyping a 15th weapon if I had to guess. It's, and from what I can tell, it looks awesome. Kind of like dual blades where each hit doesn't do very much, but just the number of hits and also the maneuverability, the low commitment on the hits is definitely the biggest thing with the Akuma, is that you can land your offsets in between hits on your combo, but when you do that, like, yeah, it's because you have the low commitment on your moves, but also because you, well, okay, you also have to, like, work the combos differently, because what I noticed when I was, yeah, when I was playing, oh my gosh, where's this Wiggly? Yeah, because, okay, you do X twice, and then the third X is, it's like light punch, light kick, and those are great because you can combo that into your offset attack. But when you do the third one, that's a Goryuken or some shit like that. That shit takes forever, and so you won't be able to offset, or you have to work around hitting that combo. So you have to hit XXY so you can keep the low commitment moves, because otherwise you're probably not going to land an offset. Dude, fuck him up, Dosha. I need your help. I need your help, Dosha. Then I'm curious if other people are finding it a little bit tricky to hit his head. You know, I do think hitting Lagiacrus's head is a little... It could be just because I'm playing dual blades. Could be. But yeah, so obviously the collaboration was just a lot better than what most people were expecting. And I have a friend who, he doesn't really play Monster Hunter anymore, but he's a huge Street Fighter fan, and I told him, like, dude, you gotta check out this Akuma. Like, I know you're not interested in Monster Hunter anymore, but dude, this Akuma thing is, like, nuts. But alright, so with that, finally gonna talk about Lagiacrus and Steve. Oh, is he actually gonna hit me? Nope. Yeah, so clearly It's awesome. This Lagiacrus is the best fight in the game, and it's not even close. I work with a guy that plays Monster Hunter, and yeah, we saw each other after this came out, and we're both like, yeah, this is the best thing. This is the best fight in the game, and it's not even close. And we both just like immediately like said it. Like personally, he didn't seem to be impressed by this, but I loved how all these moves he does, like, and maybe other people that played Monster Hunter before already know this, but all the moves he does on land are reflected in the water, or at least the vast majority of them. So like this move right here where he shoots that lightning, he does that in the water, and then it looks different, and it comes out differently because he's in the water. And so I loved how learning his patterns on land, you know, it made sense that you weren't learning a whole new monster when you went to the water. And that all the moves that he does are kind of the same. Yep, I was trying to get out. Get him! Get him! Oh! Funny. So that was the, I don't know, just one thing I just absolutely loved was just like, because I'm fighting him in the water, I'm like, wait a minute, he's literally doing everything that he did on land, but now he's like floating in the water. I just thought that was like super sick. So that's one little detail. I don't know if that gets mentioned a lot, but that's one little thing that I loved. Get out of here. Obviously the underwater combat is a big reason why people love this fight. And it's funny to see veterans, right? Because veterans are like, ah, this isn't our underwater combat. This is an underwater combat, and I'm like, this is awesome. Like, I don't have any experience with the prior underwater combat, so this is like my first taste of it. But I absolutely love what we get. And you know, to the veterans, they're like, oh, this sucks. But to me, experiencing it for the first time, I just love how it's just in the fight. It's like not that big a deal, you know? It's not some sort of great betrayal of what was in prior Monster Hunter games, you know? Dude, what am I doing to this guy right now? He is just flipping out. So, yeah, I don't know. A lot of people say they didn't like the underwater so much. I personally absolutely loved it. I think it's awesome. Personally, oh dang, we're already there. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just the looseness, but like the movement in the water just feels so very different from being on land. But at the same time, it was all intuitive. Like I didn't need some giant tutorial. It didn't feel clunky at all. Like when I'm in the water, I feel good. I feel free. I feel loose. It's you know. I should have dodged that. I had that roar. Alright, getting out of your way. So that's a good thing though too, is the intuition. There's some things to learn, but it's not, I don't know, it's not daunting or anything. Where, okay, I know, oh, okay, there we go. Get over here, fool. Alright. I gotta do better than last time. For sure. I do find it really fascinating that they brought back the clutch claw. But they call it cling, and they're just like, maybe no one will notice. And they're like, no, we notice. This is the frickin' clutch claw. 100%, like, super obviously. Come on. Okay, I thought that was gonna land. That was definitely a little bit higher than usual, but that's not that big of a deal. Oh yeah, but also like if you go vertical and horizontal, like he follows you. I think that's really cool. But yeah, this still feels like an epic battle, for sure. Yep. Yeah, it is really funny how it's it is the clutch claw. And they just call it cling. Like when you hold the left trigger, they just call it like cling. And it is interesting how they just didn't commit to just calling it clutch. And it's like, I'm just sitting here like, I guess you could call it the cling claw. Use the cling claw. Man, he's kind of been kicking my ass on this stream. Okay. And then, yeah, that's another thing to learn, is if you do it next to this little pillar thing, it's gonna do all this extra damage, which is nice. But yeah, it just feels nice. It feels like not complicated and fun, but it doesn't overstay its welcome too. Like, I'm not spending too much time in the water. And that's the big thing with underwater combat, is like, from what I understand, is that people were doing their whole hunts underwater to kill it, and it felt like, I don't know, in one way that is really cool, because you are fighting it in its environment. Like, it says that, or they say it's stronger in the water than it is on land, and so it is kind of cool to say like, oh, you're stronger in the water, so I'm gonna kill you in the water. But yeah, I just don't know about having a whole hunt underwater. It's... And, you know, maybe, again, maybe if I were a veteran, like some of the people, you know, and I knew what I was talking about, I could compare it and be like, oh no, the underwater hunts are way better. So it's my own lack of knowledge. I don't have the requisite knowledge to know. But yeah, so clearly, nah, I don't know what other people think, but I think it's clearly the best fight. Like, Zoshia is interesting because Zoshia is a lot of fun, the production value. Okay, so there's something with monster design that I don't know if I'm going crazy or if what I'm seeing is accurate. But what I keep thinking is that the monsters, at the rate they attack you, has to do with the rate that you dodge their attacks, or that you attack them. So it feels like if you have a monster and you just keep avoiding all of his moves and attacking him, he keeps attacking you for almost ever. Okay, that I do not know what the heck was going on. And I don't know if anyone else can confirm that, but that seems to be like what their design philosophy is now. It's like, if you have if you're doing really well, it does really well against you, and if you start getting your ass kicked, it's gonna slow down. That's what it feels like. And that's definitely how Seregios feels like. I know that there's a... Oh yeah, Mizutsune. Mizutsune was the biggest, by far, I think, in this game, the biggest example of that, where, like, it's sitting around after its attacks and waiting for it to receive an attack from you, and if it receives an attack from you, you know, it'll attack again. That's definitely how Mizutsune feels, and that's how I would say, it feels like that's maybe their new philosophy. Oh, dude. Holy shit. That was the best fucking kill screen I've ever had. Holy crap, that's actually like my favorite kill screen. Wow, that was super dope. It was just an adept roll that did damage. I'm gonna see it again. Dude, that was actually really awesome. he comes in for his big body slam. Dodge the first one, and then he comes in for his second one, hit the dodge, boom, killed him. That's really cool. He killed at the apex of his powers. I love it. I do have a modded Steve, but like I said, we're gonna get in our Lagiacrus. I have 8 Lagiacrus spheres. I wish I could give them out to people. I don't need 8. And I wish I had the 5-star Lagiacrus. I was definitely a big fan of fighting the 5-star ones. Those were really, really difficult for sure. But God, what else is cool about Lagiacrus? Yeah, unique skeleton, unique movements, all done very well. All the kinds of things that you could say. Presentation, obviously, is just astronomically awesome. Did they say they posted a new bounty? I'm gonna go check the bounties real quick. Fighting this for a little bit. Dang, only 46 minutes? Was it 3 or 4 hunts? Oh, whoa, look at that. Huh. For whatever reason, I wasn't showing your chats. I'm sorry, man. Yeah, hitting his head is a bit annoying for some melee. Yeah, well, he kind of does this thing, not totally like Fatalis, but maybe just a little bit, where there's all the space between his neck and the head. So if you're going for the head, you're really not going for anything else. And so it really makes you commit. Like, if you're going for the head, you really have to commit. Okay, bounties, cool. I like how they handled aquatic combat in Wilds. Might not be the full package like we had in Try, but is engaging enough to feel satisfying. Yeah, that's, you pretty much very succinctly put it the way I would have. You know, I'm sure it lacks some of the depth, but personally, I'm not going to complain. I love it. I think it's fun. It's fun. It doesn't overstay its welcome. It's nice. As a vet myself, I actually enjoyed it. Oh, there you go. Yeah, see, there you go. Maybe we only hear from the vets that don't enjoy it. Maybe they speak very loudly about how they don't appreciate. You know, and I feel like one of my friends would probably be like that. Like, I'm having fun, and he would probably be like, it's not the way it used to be. The way it used to be a lot better, and now it's lame, you know. It's like, I haven't asked him about it, but I just get that feeling that's probably, you know, how he would respond. And it's like, yeah, I know you've been playing since Monster Hunter 1, right? I know that you are the best of the best, and that no one's as good as you, but, or I shouldn't say that, he's not like the best. I know you've been around forever. But yeah, I did have a comment on one of my videos the other day, and the guy said he really hopes we get Ivory or Abyssal in the game. And I think, I'm pretty sure other people feel this way, that that's probably as much of a given as you could imagine. Like, I'm 99+% sure that we're gonna get Abyssal or Ivory officially. They got the skeleton in the game. It's only like the second content update. So there's a lot of content updates. We have a whole expansion. But yeah, there's absolutely no way that... I feel like we could get both, but we'll at least get one. So I don't know how everyone else feels, but I know it feels like I'm 99+% certain that we are going to get Ivory and Abyssal for real. For realsies. Man, I'm just... So I will say that I noticed this a lot with these 2 DLC monsters, is that it feels like I very rarely get off Blade Dance 3. Like, I'm trying very hard to get off Blade Dance 3, and it's like the game just won't let me do it, man. It feels like I'm doing that third attack. And that probably has something to do with the attack rate. of the monsters, but yeah, it just kind of like what I was saying earlier about how it can kind of detect if you're gonna hit it, and so it keeps attacking, and if it keeps attacking, I'm not gonna get Blade Dance 3 off. So let's just sharpen. But yeah, KO can't. Oh, I love it. Thanks for commenting. Yeah, good old KO can't. I assume that's a Dragon Ball Z reference. That's 100% always what I've thought of when I've heard of KO Kent. I'm like, yeah, you have KO Ken, but what about KO can't? Just stupid, but it's like, yeah. That's always what I wondered about that. For whatever reason, I really love breaking the back too. Like, I don't know why, but Lagiacrus, I love breaking that back. I love seeing all those like little spikes there, and then just like smacking the crap out of them. We're gonna do a wound attack. But yeah, so if anyone's wondering if we're gonna get like Ivory and Abyssal, you know, if my opinion means anything, which it most certainly does not, I'm like damn near certain we're gonna get Abyssal and Ivory. Like, you did all this work to put him in the game. Everybody loves him. It would be a slam dunk. Absolute slam dunk. But again, you know, like maybe it comes from what we were talking about earlier, about how they don't want to give the player too much. They don't want to give them too much of the good stuff. And that's the only reason why I think they wouldn't. You know, maybe they would think like, oh, we don't want them to have so much fun. We want to leave some stuff for some other games or some crap like that. Yeah, like I said before earlier, the idea that maybe they're holding out the goods. Potentially. But, oh, crap. I should have waited till he smacked the wall, but that's okay. You know, as far as the other changes they've made, yeah, I absolutely love that they lessened the amount of wounds that these monsters are getting. There's not so many wounds. Thank God. And I think the issue that they didn't realize is that when you have a wound and you land a wound attack, the game becomes autopilot, and that's not what they want. So that's not what the player enjoys, first of all. But that's also like not, you know, I think what the developers had in mind. Like, oh yeah, you're actually autopiloting how much of the fight because you just hit the wound attack and then you're occupied for the next, I don't know, 5 to 8 seconds. And then you get a knockdown, and yeah, I just really don't think that's what they had in mind. But at least with some of these tougher variants, some of the tougher tempered ones, what I'm seeing is that, yeah, a lot less wounds. And they're also not very effective. They're not doing so much damage, they're not getting knockdowns each time. Like, they get maybe one knockdown in a hunt against these harder guys, but... You know, at least that's what I'm seeing so far, is that they don't necessarily, Come on. Oh, you got wrecked. You know, so that's another good change. I like some wounds, for sure. Some wounds is a good idea. I'm glad the system is in the game, but yeah, not too many. Not too many wounds where it becomes autopilot, you know. Okay, just stay down. Dude, come on. What is happening? How is that happening? Okay, okay, I need to figure out. Okay. Alright, alright. So I think what's happening is that before this stream, whenever I came across that kind of move, I was going backwards, and then when I'm going backwards, it's hitting me with the tail end of the attack, and if it hits me with the tail end of the attack when he does the second attack, it's not going to combo because I still have the iframes from being knocked down. But if he hits me with the first part of the attack, I get up just enough to get hit by it again and die. Okay, so I think I know what's going on now. But it kind of looks like we might be seeing another tornado, potentially. Ugh. Oh yeah, and then this is my own personal hot take for fighting Serregios later, but I do think that the Team Resurgence one was a lot better. Yeah, see, I get hit by the tail end of it. Oh, okay, got hit by the end of it. Oh. Dude, I was hoping that would be good enough. Yep, got the clutch claw on his face. Oh, dang. Finally. I just had to go for it. I hate looking for the... That's the only thing I don't like about underwater combat, is that I hate looking for the slinger ammo. It's actually really hard to see. Hard to see, it's hard to find. Yeah, and if I do this stream again, the next one would obviously be Abyssal. Oh, and then, you know, the modder actually made a third one that I downloaded called Amethyst. Yeah, he made the Amethyst, which I thought was dope. But the only thing is, I don't think Amethyst is like an official, you know, I think that's just a fan recoloring. It's not like an official, you know, variant of Lagiacrus or anything like that. Oh my gosh, dude, break this back, please. Break the back. Dude, you won't even let me hit the back. No. Yeah, like that move right there. That's completely underwater move that he does. Oh, I do like him springing out of the water like that. That definitely like freaked me out the first time. I'm like, what the hell is he doing? I got too close, dang it. Oh, no back break, but oh well. Dang. Yeah. Yeah, I think because the last time I fought it, I got one knockdown where its back just went straight to me. I actually got like 2 knockdowns where his back was just exposed to me, so. Awesome. It is awesome. You know, but I think in general lately, what I've been reflecting more on, like the name of the game. It says Wilds, right? And I think maybe that's something people are missing is like it's not just like being out in the desert. It's that they're kind of prophesizing that this game is gonna have some crazy shit. I think that's what like the actual meaning of the game is like they're trying to tell you that some crazy shit's gonna happen. And so Akuma being like a 6th weapon and or sorry, a 15th weapon or um you know, having Lagiacrus in the game and underwater combat and Zoshia, you know, they're like the game is called Wilds. It's gonna get wild, you know. That's one of the things that I feel like maybe people have missed. So, and you know, the first patch was Zoshia, and it didn't tell you very much. Or sorry, not Zoshia. It was Mizutsune, and it kind of maybe gives you this feeling like, oh, okay, it's just a monster, you know, that's cool. And it's like, no, I think that was a misnomer. I think this is gonna, you know, they're just gonna make a bunch of crazy crap in this game, or they should. That's my own guess. I had a coworker. He predicted. I talked to him the other day. He predicted that it was gonna be Gogmazios. He thought Gogmazios was gonna be in the game. He thought that was gonna be the next update, actually. So that's his prediction. I don't know if it's gonna be the next update. Okay, we got Tempered Lagiacrus coming in a little bit. That's good. But I don't know if it's gonna be the next update, but I do, you know. But if it did, I feel like I'd be validated in that observation that you know the game's name is prophesying, you know, what is to come in the game. It's not just like wilds like the desert. No, this is wilds because you're gonna see some wild shit. That's my own feeling anyway. Alright, just gotta wait for this Lagiacrus to spawn. I'm not totally out of quests. I got like 1 or 2 attempts on the investigation real quick. Luckily we got Lagiacrus to pop out at some point. Come on. Oh wait, what am I doing here? I should be... Ah! Oh, okay, he's only 4-star. Gosh darn it. Son of a gun. I don't want 4-star laggy. I want 5-star. I want the hardest freaking laggy. They're not giving me the hard one. They're giving me the easy ones. I hate it. I promise you guys, I can fight the hard ones. But yeah. So and I think that would be actually freaking crazy if Gogmazios was the next monster. That's only title update 3, by the way. And then that again, that would be like that would kind of show their philosophy, because what you have Jindahad, Zoshia, and then Gogmazios, all before you have Teostra or Kushala. And so what are they doing with that? What are they saying with the idea that like we're gonna have every other kind of crazy Elder Dragon final boss thing before we have like literal like normal Teostra, you know? I don't know. I think that would be saying, like, yeah, we're not gonna have all the standard Elder Dragon crap like you're used to. Like clearly they were going for something different. Yep, I knew I shouldn't have gone for that. But yeah, to talk about the mod specifically, I mean, this is just so pretty. I know it's just a retexture, but it just looks so great. And I'm shocked at how quickly this came out, you know, it's so definite kudos to the modder. I forget, it's like the Torangs or something, but you'll see the modder as soon as you know, pretty sure he's got one of the most popular mods already. Okay. Yeah, I should just go for the head. I don't know why I'm wasting so much time trying to... I'm trying to go for the spike that I can't even hit, you know? Yep, that was dumb. Yep, come on. Easy. I find that animation to be really interesting too. Because that animation looks like he's gonna fall down and then he doesn't. It's kind of crazy to me. Oh, dude, I dodged that. Oh, dude, no. That's funny. Actually, I ran out of my adept roll. That my adept roll ran out.
Are you alright? Take a second to restock your supplies before heading out.
Oh, we got a Queen Rafflaza. Where's it? Where's it? I want my Queen Rafflaza. Oh, there we go. Oh. There you go. A little bit of a break. But where are those rocks? I want to drop some rocks on him. Oh, but I've noticed it's actually kind of difficult to get him. Yeah, underneath these rocks. Like, you see, he kind of just jets by him. And then I also wonder if that's kind of a design choice because they make, like, viewing the rocks so much higher than... Okay. There we go. Get him, get him, get him. Get wasted. Let's go. Mmm. Dude, I dodged that roar. Yeah, what else I've been doing lately? I picked up paddle boarding, so that was one reason why I didn't live stream this update right away. Yeah, I've been meaning to buy a paddleboard for years, and then I finally just went and did it. My uncle lives next to this beach. And I fell in love with paddleboarding the week that this, or yeah, pretty much almost the day that this update came out. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not playing that crap. I'm going paddleboarding. I am not playing this update at all. You know, and then all my free time, as much as I could, has been hanging out with friends or paddleboarding. So, and then finally, God, I actually got sick a couple times. I've been throwing up. I don't know why. But, you know, I frickin', yeah, I went to the lake and was paddleboarding as much as I could, and then I got frickin' sick at the lake. And, you know, I don't know if it was food sickness. It felt like it could have been food sickness. I don't know exactly what happened, but, yeah, I went paddleboarding, got sick the next day, and then I went paddleboarding the next day after that. I'm like, oh, I'm sick, and then I'm like, oh, I'm not sick. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the lake. So, and thematically, I don't know. The only interesting thing is like it is interesting that this is a, you know, kind of an underwater patch. This is kind of the water patch, so. Funny that I am paddleboarding, although it's only barely ephemerally correlates to paddleboarding in any way. You know, I guess it does involve water. But okay, wait, looks like we have a question. Is it for real Ivory Lagiacrus / mod? It is a mod, and it is just a retexture. So it's not real in the sense that it's not coming with new moves or anything. Yeah, I mean, if this were coming with new moves, this would definitely be a giant patch, and I think a lot of people would be streaming it, not just me. But no, it's real as far as the retexture goes, so it looks like Ivory Lagiacrus, but it doesn't, yeah, it doesn't really do anything different. So in that sense, it's real, for sure. And it is really good, it's really awesome. Love the way it looks. Yeah, so if they're to actually mod the monster itself in the future, they might, yeah, I mean, typically those kinds of mods, they take a lot more speciality and they take a lot more time. I can't believe I get hit. Okay. Oh, dude. Okay, I'm gonna get wrecked. Yep, I'm dead. What? I only have one faint left already? Jeez. Well, I was kind of curious because I do have some Monster Hunter difficulty mods. And so I could call it Ivory Lagiacrus and then just turn on like a Monster Hunter difficulty. There's a few Monster Hunter difficulty mods. There's one that comes with hard, very hard, and nightmare. And there was a stream I had a while ago where I was fighting a Nightmare Archveld that was like forced or whatever, 5-star tempered. And the amount of health I had, like, dude, it took me 25 minutes and I think I fainted. Yeah, I lost, but it took me 25 minutes and it hit so hard that most of his attacks killed me in one hit. Huntsman's son says it's good. Yeah, it looks really great. It looks really, really awesome. If you were to make a Monster Hunter mod where you made Ivory Lagiacrus and changed its moves, you could just use this retexture for the texture part of that mod. So that's how good it is. But no, yeah, so I thought of having that, maybe having that kind of live stream where I call it Ivory Lagiacrus and then I make it like twice as hard. You know? Not to lie or anything. I don't want to lie to people and tell them that it's a, you know, got new moves or something, but you know, just I'm always just thinking of like maybe something I could do. Oh wow. That would be fun. You know, like, oh, I could call it Ivory Lagiacrus and just make it really difficult. And, you know, all of his attacks already hit me and kill me in one hit. And to be fair, well, what, they got all the 8-star quests now that have 5-star difficulty. And, yeah, that's another way in which you can tell that they've listened, is that they... Yeah, I mean, they've actually made 8-star, 5, or whatever you would call it, 8-star, 5-star difficulty monsters. They're actually hard enough to be like, I don't really have to mod the game to make it more difficult anymore. Though like I said earlier, my Abyssal Lagiacrus quest was a 5-star tempered. It was like a max difficulty Lagiacrus, and I still beat it in 13 minutes. So I could still do it, you know, I still could. The nightmare difficulty mod thing that I did before was actually a lot of fun, but I did think I was pushing myself too hard. Like, I really couldn't talk. I was like live streaming it, and I'm like, okay, I can't talk, because even though I'm really good at fighting Archveld, it kills me in one hit. And yeah, if it kills you in one hit, you just really have to pay attention. And like I said, it took 25-30 minutes. It was just taking forever. Oh shit. Run! Shit. But when I'm actually really trying, I'm good enough to fight Lagiacrus. But yeah, if I'm gonna do like, if I'm gonna make this like a nightmare Lagiacrus or something with the mod, yeah, I just need to get a little bit better, I think, probably. Because the Archveld, like, I've killed over 100 of those, and yeah, like, I'm definitely good enough to fight the nightmare difficulty. But, you know, if, yeah, this is, you know, it's just because I fought that monster so many times. Oh, snap. Oh, dang, dude. I had no idea, but yeah. I might lose if I die. I don't want to do that. Hey, look at that. You dead. You dead. But, okay, so what I've hunted, how many of these have I killed? 27. Okay, and then Archveld is 105. So, yeah, once I've hunted this 105 times, maybe I'll be good enough to kind of, kill it, you know? Or maybe I'll be good enough to, like, make it harder. But like I said, they kind of already, like, I don't know, they haven't eliminated entirely the use for difficulty mods, but they've definitely done a lot. They've done a lot to help me not feel like I need, for sure. Okay, we're gonna go back to camp, and then we're gonna take just a little bit of a break. We're gonna hunt a Seregios, but this Seregios will be, what is it called? The Gala Seregios mod? So I haven't checked it out yet, but this will give me a chance to talk about Seregios a little bit. Here's our build, though. Laggy Thunder. Lagiacrus, dual blades, crit boost 3, thunder attack 3, power prolonger, critical element, convert thunder resistance. That's the weapon skill for that. Weakness exploit 5, latent power 5. Oh, wait, I still got latent power on this build? Shit. Oh, wait, no, that's okay. Alright. Burst 3, thunder resistance 3, maximum might 2, evade extender, evade window 1. Yeah, so that's... Yeah, let's just, throw on that. Why not? But yeah, this will just give us a chance to talk about Seregios and just take a tiny little break from Lagiacrus. I've already fought him 5 times. We're gonna fight him 5 more times, probably. And then I do have a 5-star quest for that. I got a bunch of 5-star quests. What's a really difficult? Let's do this one. It gives us the center. Late night fallow. Oh, it'll be awesome. So I actually haven't seen this one. I got it activated, right? Or did I not activate it? Oh, please tell me I activated it. Oh, dude, I don't think I activated it. Crap. No, I didn't activate it. Crap. Oh, son of a bitch. Ah, alright. Alright. We're gonna quit real quick. I think that's just normal surrender. Yeah, it's just normal storage. Okay, so we are going to quit real quick, and not only, since we're out, not only will we activate, okay, I just saw it. Gala Regios, but we will also activate the, you know what, crap. Okay, so we could do Abyssal Lagiacrus, or we can do Fat Ivory. Alright, we're gonna do Abyssal. So we're gonna do Abyssal and Gala Regios. Okay. Sorry about that. I totally thought I had already activated it. That is such a bummer. Okay. No crashes, no crashes. Right. Alright, got the game back and everything. Cool. So now we're doing Abyssal. I should have made that. I was thinking of doing the dual theme for the thumbnail, or you know, having a split with both, but I didn't know if I'd be showcasing both or not. I think you could showcase one and you'd be totally fine, but oh yeah, this also gave me a chance to use Laggy's weapons. I really like Laggy's weapons. The effects on them are almost egregious. Like the effects on the Laggy weapons are just gratuitous beyond belief. Like they're just so crazy. Yeah, they just, the explosion of thunder that you get is just crazy. You know what? I needed to pick a different one anyway because late night fallow. Yeah, I'll do this one. That way you could see it. If it's at night, you can't really see the mod. This way you could see the mod. You could see the gala. Well, what did he do? Is just purple, right? Cactua Rosie Capilla. Well, alright. I mean, it's a different looking Sergio, so that's cool. We will take it. Okay. And not that this is a variant. I don't think there's any kind of variant to it, but oh man. Is this a gold crown? Get the binoculars. Nope. Dang, I thought it was. Yeah, and so I don't know how I feel about this fight, honestly. I just, it is so weird because I feel like he's very repetitive. And he's more annoying. He just doesn't stop attacking. I don't know how other people feel, but yeah, I feel like I get worn out fighting this guy, but not in a good way. Because, like, this move, he's gonna keep doing it, right? He just dashes back and forth all the time. And, you know, and that's one thing I've noticed with a few of the monsters is how repetitive some of them feel. Teregios has to feel one of the most repetitive monsters. And yeah, it's not in a good way. It is in a bad way. But anyhow, this is the retexture for, you know, Teregios. I hope it's cool. But I was telling my friend this at work the other day, you know, the Resurgence mod actually had, I think, I don't know for sure, I haven't counted it out, but I think the modded version of Seregios for World has more moves than than this actual monster. Because I know that for a fact that there is one move. Oh, crap. I should have. Yeah. He has a dive move. He has a Nova move where he you know, he kind of gets together and he curls up, right, and then he spins, and then he shoots you know, the daggers or whatever, the spikes everywhere. Doesn't have that move in this game. And what my friend said is that Capcom is likely saving that for the expansion. They're saving that for Master Rank. Like, Master Rank Seregios is going to have that move. And I said, okay, that's right. That's a fair point. But that puts them in this weird spot where, like I was saying earlier, Capcom, they feel like they get themselves in a position where they're kind of holding out on us. Like, oh, we're gonna have Seregios. Like, that's awesome. We love Seregios. But then we get a version of Seregios that doesn't have a few of his moves. A version of Seregios that was beaten by the modders. You know, the modders made a better version of this guy. And, yeah, he doesn't have all of his moves, and it ends up being really repetitive. And I always said that this is the biggest problem with Rathian, right? Oh, dude, I could have avoided that. The biggest problem with Rathian isn't Rathian, it's that, in World, at least, you have, okay, you have Rathian, Pink Rathian, low rank, high rank, master rank, and then you have Gold Rathian, Rathalos, Azure Rathalos, Silver Rathalos. So you have 6 that follow that same archetype. And what they do is they have to make them all feel different. And what they end up doing to Rathian is just ruining Rathian, because Rathian can't do any of its cool moves. Because they have to split 6. They have to split whatever moves it has among 6 different archetypes. And Rathian is like the least cool. Oh, man, I gotta hit those a lot better. I definitely gotta hit those for sure, but yeah. And I actually no, I think Sunbreak was by far the worst example of what they did to Rathian. Like, the Rathian in Sunbreak, like, literally just does 3 moves. It is so bad. But yeah, so that's why I prefer yeah, that's why I prefer the Resurgence Seregios, because Resurgence Seregios has all the moves. And it didn't feel repetitive, and it felt fresh, and it also felt like I didn't know what it was gonna do. Whereas I already feel like I know what Seregios is gonna do in this fight. Even though he's totally kicking my ass, it's only because I'm talking about him. It's the hardest version, and it's because I'm talking about him, but, yeah. Like, if I were actually able to pay attention and just play it, like, it's not that hard. But yeah, so that's why, you know, I don't know. I really didn't enjoy Seregios that much at all. It feels like they're saving moves for master rank, which means that it gets really repetitive. Um, that was my biggest thing with Ray Dow too. Ray Dow feels repetitive. I don't know why it feels like it just does the same like 4 moves over and over again. I'm gonna get a mounts. Well, I gotta wait. Wait till it's enraged. Interesting, because now it feels like you can't really even see the mod because he's covered in sand, you know? He's like covered in sand. There you go. I had to beat the sand off of him. You're kidding. But he's definitely a monster that feels like he responds to how often you hit him, right? You hit him a lot, he hits you a lot. And he just won't ever stop. He just keeps going and going and going. What I'm shocked is that he doesn't have less HP. Because it kind of feels like Brute Tigrex, where he attacks super fast, and because of that, they give him like less HP. Oh dang. Almost dead. I had no idea. Okay. Like I said, this is just a nice little break from Laggy. And then we're going straight to the Abyssal at Laggy. Oh yeah, I'm also uploading a video tomorrow of the Ivory Lagiacrus. Yeah. And then I don't know what we're gonna do. In general, if I do start live streaming again, what I think I want to do is I got all these monsters that I've never live streamed on World, and I think we're gonna do that. There's Heretic, Shara Ishvalda. There's Cockatese, Shara Ishvalda. I kind of want to do that. I don't know if I ever live stream Netherworld Nergigante, but I want to live stream Netherworld Nergigante. Yeah, there's just a lot of monsters I don't think I ever live streamed. And it's because the modder was around. He said he didn't want anyone to live stream it until someone paid for him. And I was finally going to pay him so I could live stream the stuff. And then he just went AWOL. He's been AWOL for like almost a year. And so I don't know if I can or I can't. I would give him money if I could, but he's AWOL, so I don't know. But I really want to live stream it. I don't know. Okay. Gonna bomb this guy up. I don't know if other people bomb. I kind of bomb every once in a while. I don't know if other people even bother doing bombs anymore or what. But man, just look at those lightning effects, man. Crazy. Dude. I'm just trying to hit his face. Okay. That was uncalled for. Give me that wound. Oh, you are dead now. Dude, Gypsaros just saved my ass. Thank you, Gypsaros. He did. Alright, so that was Gala Seregios. Yeah. I'm just fighting him once. I just wanted you guys to see the other retextures. This guy, Patarangs, he had a lot of retextures. I didn't like fall in love with all of them, but I did appreciate a bunch of them. I don't know if I'm gonna get around to live streaming them. Yeah, yeah. This is I thought this one was pretty cool. Thought this was pretty cool, worth showing, for sure. All right, now on to Abyssal Lagiacrus. Lagiacrus. Oh yeah, that's right. And now we have an official pronunciation. Lagiacrus. You know, I don't know. The first time I heard of this monster, it was from a friend at work, and he called it Lagiacrus, and so I'm just gonna keep calling it Lagiacrus. Not changing me now. Okay. This is the raw recovery, so this is all about need some layered armor. You know, I do not like the cyberpunk, but let's just roll a cyberpunk, why not? Maybe the people watching will. I don't know. Oh. Yeah, there's so many world live streams I could have. I could have so many Monster Hunter World live streams. It's insane. Yeah, like I said, I'd be willing to pay the guy what he was willing to pay. I had held out for a while because the amount of money that he wanted for me to live stream or to post videos of his stuff just felt like it was a lot. Well, it's that I don't know if you guys ever heard of, what is it? Go. Wow, I am not that close. What is it called? It's something like fan. Pix Vix Fanbox, right? And then that's what it's called. And you know, it was. I think it was in Japanese, but it translated to about $30 a month to be able to live stream stuff or make videos. And I was just like, you know, I really want to. I would love to make a one-time payment of like, I don't know, 200 or something. But I don't know about like $30 a month, and then I feel like I have to do it, and it's just like, yeah. But I was finally gonna do it, and then he took his stuff down, and now his mod file, I don't know where those mods are, you know, but yeah, not in any contact. I have no way of contacting him, but you know, I hope he doesn't mind. But yeah, if I make a bunch of live streams with those mods, I think it would be pretty sick. Yeah, there's so many. There's well, even Xeno Fatalis. Like, Xeno Fatalis would just be awesome. Who doesn't love Xeno Fatalis? Like, holy crap. Like, one of my most underutilized, underappreciated mods. But okay, here's the Abyssal Lagiacrus, guys. God, for me, it's really hard to pick which one I like more, aesthetically. I think they both look just freaking awesome. I like that they kind of... Okay, that didn't hit me. That's BS. I like how they both lend themselves to the wounds. Because you can see how, like, the color scheme kind of just goes with the wounds colors. I think I respect that move a little too much, actually. Okay. Right, I said I was gonna start aiming for his head. But yeah, I don't know. Are other people using the Zoshia set? Personally, I'm still using it. I really like it. I find the super recovery to be the most important thing as far as just mentality and damage uptime, you know? You know, because instead of spending your time sheathing your weapon and drinking potions, if you take a little bit of damage, you can kind of just keep attacking. And then Lagiacrus is a little weak to dragon, right? And so that was another reason why I use this weapon. It's like, well, he's kind of weak to dragon. Not that it's like the best dragon weapon or anything, but yeah, if I had to pick, I think Ivory looks cooler. Or no, this one looks cooler, but Ivory is like a little nicer to look at. I don't know if that's like total crackhead of me to say, but like, I hope that's not a distinction without a difference kind of thing. Yeah, like I could look like this one is cooler, but I could look at Ivory Lagiacrus all day. The game's actually kind of screwing me out of good placement because when I'm showcasing mods, I actually have to think about the environment, and you know, because if it's in a dark environment, like the colors and the distinctions don't really pop out that much. And that's what I'm getting with these quests, though, is like they're not really showing it. Like I want it to be on the lake in the sun so that people can see, you know, the colors on the mods, but instead we're in the forest, you know, in the dark. Well, that's just where the quest placed us. But yeah, when I post the Ivory Lagiacrus quests tomorrow, yeah, you'll notice I didn't do like the 5-star tempered one this time because, you know, it was more important for me to have the monster, to have Lagiacrus in the sun. What the heck? It's more important for him to be in the sun than it was for him to be like a super hard tempered version. You know, that's how I felt anyway. But yeah, I picked up paddleboarding. What else? I went to a speed dating thing, and I got no matches, dude. The women hated me. I do not know why. And I have no shame, so I do not mind sharing my failures. But the whole thing is so beyond perplexing that I can't even... Because, like, okay, I've been to 3 speed dating things, right? The first one I went to, all the women liked me. I felt awesome. I felt like top dog, man. I'm like, I got almost every match. I got like 7 out of 8 girls that matched me. And so it's like, yeah, you go to speed dating, you talk, and they want, you know, then they say whether or not they were open to meeting you again. First one I went to, yeah, 7 out of 8. Like, I just knocked that out of the park. Every girl loved me. And I'm like, oh man, like I'm gonna be speed dating. Like, this is awesome. It serves me well. I do really well in this environment. Next one I go to, yeah, they don't like me that much, but that's okay because I don't really like them. That was totally fine. I didn't really like the ones. Well, okay. Oh wow, that's cool. I didn't know that it came with a little pink thing. Well, I shouldn't say I didn't like them. It was more so that they... Oh my gosh, he's just gonna spam that move, huh? Jeez. You're gonna make me go over there. I'll go over there. Oh my gosh. Okay, he's being like a huge jerk in the water right now, so I'm just gonna... He's gonna be a jerk, I'll be a jerk. He's not coming towards, like, my stuff. Okay, finally. Finally. But yeah, the second one didn't go well, but it was, okay, so I live around a big city. And what I had come to realize is that just because you're going speed dating doesn't mean that you're not subject to the women in the area. And the women of every area, right, reflect different values. So if I'm a guy, I'm looking to get married and have kids, you know, and I'm around a liberal city, it actually isn't really set up for my success. Like, if this was a speed dating event in some sort of rural neighborhood in Omaha, or something like that, you know, just spitballing, then I might be set up perfectly for success. But, I'm not. I'm next to a liberal city, and these speed dating events are in liberal cities. So I'm like, okay, I'll keep trying it. Or actually, I was done. But then I saw, you know, there's a Christian speed dating. I'm like, oh, this one's perfect, because now I'm accounting for the values, right? The values of the women in the area. Like, this is intentionally kind of discriminating out, pushing out the women that won't have a certain, you know, liberal values that are not going to be conducive for me to be with. So I thought, yeah, this is great. But yeah, no matches, and I have no idea why. I don't know if it was too many options for the women. You know, the other ones I went to was like 8 guys and 8 girls, and I think that was actually pretty smart, because too many people and you begin to lose some of the connection, I think. You know, but I really don't know. Other than that, I was actually shocked at... So, okay, like, dude, okay, so... There was this girl from the Philippines I really liked for a while. It didn't work out. She was like a super Christian. Like, she read the Bible, like, every day. Or no, she was in Japan, sorry. She was in Japan. She read the Bible every day. She was super, super smart, super, super religious. Really, like, knew her stuff about the Bible. And ultimately, she thought I wasn't Christian enough for her. She thought I needed to be more Christian. And, you know, it kind of made sense for her. But yeah, she ultimately decided, like, what I need is a pastor. And so, okay, maybe for you, I understand, because you are so good at being, like, Christian, that, yeah, maybe you do need a pastor. So I'll just, you know, whatever. You know, it's kind of bullshit, because we were a good match, but, you know, hey, she needs a pastor. Well, so I didn't intend to do this, but I asked, like, 4 of the women there, like, you know, so what are you looking for in a guy? What are you looking for? All 4 of them said that they wanted a pastor. And I was like, what? Like, how is this, like it's happening too often to be a coincidence, right? Oh my gosh, what's happening with my blade dance combo? Can't even get my basic blade dance. Awesome. And so, I don't know, I don't have a new theory or anything, but I'm kind of theorizing that, you know, because we all know that modern women are having an issue with hypergamy, is that they want just the greatest guy, and they don't want to settle for any guy who isn't just the best man on the planet. But they say 6 feet, so 6 feet tall, 6 figures, whatever, 6-pack abs. You know, and so I thought, well, with these Christian women, right, we're not going to have this, right, because they'll be, you know, looking for a guy with a good heart, you know, a good Christian man. you know, come to realize what I think is that modern Christian women are having almost a different kind of hypergamous issue. It's that the modern woman wants the 6 feet tall, you know, 6 figures and 6-pack abs. What the modern day Christian women want is that they all want the pastor. Like I said, 4 out of 4. It wasn't even like remotely, like even a little different. Like, no, it was straight up 4 out of 4 of them. Like, I'm looking for a pastor. Like, what? You can't all date pastors. Not all Christian men are pastors. What the hell's going on? Is that the modern day Christian women are having kind of their own version of the hypergamy problem, is that they all want to date the pastor. They all want to date a church leader. Like, it's not good enough to just be a church goer and a doer and a reader of the word. It's that you also have to, you know, they want you to be the guy. They want you to be the pastor. They want to see that their husband is the guy going up there giving the sermons. And so, yeah, just from what I could tell, yeah, they're having their own hypergamy, and it's crazy because, yeah, none of those women, like, I doubt they gave any hoot about what I looked like or about my style or anything. It's that they wanted the pastor. And when I told them I'm not a pastor, it's like, oh, okay, they're knocking me down all these points. It's actually nuts. And then there was maybe, because we talked, the guys talked before the girls came in, and I think maybe there was one of those guys was a pastor, maybe two, but I think just one of those guys was a pastor. And so he probably got all the matches. And the rest of us are like, hey, we're good Christian men, we love the Lord. And they're like, yeah, but you're not a pastor. So, yeah, and back in the day, like, you know, a Christian guy would pick a Christian girl and vice versa, and the whole thing might just work out. But now it's like I said, they're having their own hypergamy in a totally different way. They're having hypergamy over like church status, and it's like it's not good enough for you to be a Christian, God-loving man. It's that you have to have status in your church, and that thing is what's replacing the 666 thing going on with the other modern day women. It's crazy, dude. And like, I had gotten a hint of this before I went to that speed dating thing, but after after I got back from the speed dating thing, I'm like, holy crap, dude! Like, they all want pastors? Like, there's not enough pastors. But why does it have to be a pastor? It's because they are the apex of the Christian, and so they got their own going for gold thing that's keeping them from being with good men, the same way modern women are writing off guys that aren't tall enough and don't make enough money. You know, they want their own version of having it all. They want to be a pastor's wife. It was, yeah, so it's just wild. Like, I couldn't believe, like, you know, yeah, that's just modern day dating is crazy. And I'm sure this isn't news to most people. Like, modern day romance is just really gone off a cliff. Yeah, so that's not news to a lot of people, I'm sure, but oh, let's see. Yeah, I really like it. These are my colors. Oh, alright, so let's do it again. We're here to do Lagiacrus, and we're gonna do it again. I just wish they would get, you know what? Yeah, we're just gonna do this, we're gonna do this one so we can get the location that we want, since the game doesn't want to give us the nice, sunny, rosy area that will let us see the monster, you know? But, yeah, so that was the speed dating. Yeah, 0 matches, and so it was 15 girls, 15 guys, and I liked 10 of them, and that doesn't mean I really like them. It just means, like, I'm open, you know, I'm open to it if they want to go talk. And then I got that email of, like, none of them. I'm like, none of them? None of them, like, even at my worst at the other speed dating events, like, I had put a lot into that speed dating event because I was like, dude, because all the problems with the other speed dating events were going to be mitigated by how this one was advertised. It's like, are you Christian? You want to get married? You want to have kids? Exactly what I'm looking for. And this advertised for it directly. You know, because I said that was the biggest issue with other singles events I've been going to, is that the women, dude, like, it's crazy out here, dude. Like, most of the women here don't want to get married and have kids. Like, they might want to get married, but they just want to travel. It's essentially, they just want a boyfriend or something. It's really weird. Because I went to a pitch a friend thing a few weeks ago, or a few months ago, and it was like maybe a month or two before I went to the speed dating thing. And that at that speed dating, or at that singles event, there was only really one woman there that sounded like she had the same priorities that I did. And so there wasn't any age restriction, but the girls there, yeah, they... Dude, it's crazy. Like, they want to... Like, they'll be 30 to 35, most of them, and they're not thinking about having kids. Like, they're 35, and it's like, here's what I'm looking for. I want a guy that wants to travel and have fun. And, oh, and not to mention, of course, the completely arbitrary, like, physical requirements, you know, because if you don't know how Pitch a Friend works, it works that, like, let's say you, viewer, are my friend, and I go to this Pitch a Friend thing. Let's say you're single, and I'll be like, hey, I'm Kilbrax, right? And I'll have a presentation ready. Here's why you should date my friend, viewer. He's just the greatest guy. He's super cool. He's super smart. Loves Monster Hunter. You know, they'll probably wonder what the fuck that is, but, you know, doesn't mean you'll be successful. But yeah, I would give a whole presentation about how you are so great and why the women there should date you. Yeah, so there's 6 presentations for each. So 6 guys, 6 girls. One of the guys was gay, which is like weird because it's like we're not, you know what I mean? Like, all the straight girls are just gonna have to ignore that guy basically, but whatever. And if there's not any gay guys there, then why the heck is the guy going? Like, whatever. Makes no sense to me, but yeah, so I saw presentations about 6 girls. Yeah, I'm glad I went to this location. Now you guys can actually see the colors. You can see the colors of the Abyssal Lagiacrus. And yeah, you know, most of them were not thinking about having kids and getting married. They just wanted to travel. They just were like, hey... And it felt like they were looking for sugar daddies. It felt like, I'm here to look for a guy who will pay for me to go to the places I want to go. There's one girl at the end, Fiona. Or I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say her name, but it doesn't really matter anymore. Yeah, she was Christian. She was looking to get married. She was looking to have kids. She was a philosophy nerd. She was a writer like me. Like, I'm like, oh man, this is the perfect girl. Like, I am totally digging her. She's like, you know, because I don't want a girl that's too attractive. And she was like a 5, like a perfect 5, you know. And I'm like, oh, this is great. She's not too pretty, but she's not ugly. I love it. Just a perfect middle ground. And but if it wasn't for that girl, there wouldn't have been a single woman at that entire event, at least that was pitched, that would have been anywhere remotely like, you know, what I was looking for. So like I said, and that was a lot like the second speed dating thing I went to. The second speed dating thing I went to, none of the women there were like, you know, really focused on getting married and having kids. Like, they're more focused about their career and money and, you know, and that's like not even, you know, looking at whether or not they're Christian, which, you know, most of them weren't. And that was the other thing. Most of the women at the second one weren't Christian at all. Which, you know, hey, I'm sorry if that's a turn off for some of you guys, some of you viewers, and, you know, but that's just the way it is. But if you're an atheist, I'm sure you can understand. You probably don't want a Christian or some kind of Muslim guy or girl. Like, hey, let's go to the mosque. And you're like, hey, I'm atheist. Leave me alone. So it's just a matter of fact of how these things work that you need congruent values. You know, so like I said, with my prior experiences and all these other kind of secular, liberal, progressive-minded area singles events, I had thought, okay, this one's going to be perfect. Because it's in a liberal area, sure, but it's Christian. And, boy, it's really weeding out the people that aren't serious about growing a family, right? And, yeah, it could not have been more of a disaster as far as the results went. No matches is like, damn, that's like... I'm sitting here like, man, I am fucking ugly, I am nasty, I am disgusting, I don't know what the hell, like... I clearly must have been really repulsive or something, like, I don't know what the heck happened. Every other event I went to with less women, I had more likes than that. You know? So... But I think, yeah, like I said, I asked 4 out of those 10 that I liked what kind of man they were looking for, and, like, the top 3 things they said were, pastors. And it's like, that's crazy. Like, it's not enough to just be Christian together. It's like, oh no, because modern women, they seem to be obsessed with standards, or status, I should say, status. And it's like, well, it's not good enough to... What kind of status comes with just being a Christian guy? I mean, that's just nothing. You just love the Lord. And it's like their heads aren't screwed on straight. Like, you know, well, I don't want to say it's their fault, but I'm just trying to make sense of what the heck happened, you know? I looked good. I felt good. Okay. Go ahead. That's totally cool. You just want to spam that, Abyssal guy? You keep spamming that. You have fun. You have fun. I'm talking about my own shit anyways. I don't need you to rain on my parade anyhow. But yeah, so it's their own hypergamy. It's their own version of wanting it all. Is like... That's the thing, there's not a lot of pastors, but a lot of pastors get married really young. Like, the pastors don't get married to 30-year-old women. If you want a pastor, that pastor is getting married when he's like 23, and if you're 30, like, what are you doing? Because not only are you looking to marry a pastor, you're looking to marry a pastor that's as old as you, but pastors aren't like single and 30 usually. So, you know, you're just segmenting yourself so hard, you know, but you believe that you are the Christian woman that God wants to marry a pastor, and you shouldn't have to settle for someone who's not. Yeah, it's just crazy. Okay, that like barely hit him, I think. Barely hit his tail. But, yeah, not to sound frustrated, but yeah, I was definitely devastated at that. I had so many high hopes for that. And there were so many girls there that I thought were like, I mean, they were perfect. They weren't... I mean, there were some pretty ones, but a bunch of them weren't too pretty. Like, a bunch of them were like 5s like me, you know? 5 or 6. So a lot of average-looking women, and I'm like, oh, this is perfect. Like, average-looking guy, average-looking woman, we got all the same values. Let's, like, this is great, right? Nope. Not good enough. So, yeah, just kind of crazy, I guess. Oh, you are so dead. Lagiacrus, you are so dead, my friend. And huzzah! I knew it. I knew it right at the end of that combo. It's gonna kill him. I freaking knew it. But, yeah. Yeah, it could not have been more of a disappointment. And it actually took me out for a bit. I was, like, really sad for a few days. I was like, jeez. I mean, it just makes you feel like you're repulsive. It makes you feel like, yeah, no one loves you. No one wants you. You know? Not that, yeah. It's just a temporary emotion. Like, I'm not sitting here like, oh, it's the worst thing ever. But yeah, in the moment, you're like, wow, that's... Because any one of those 10 would have been like, oh, I can go hang out. There's maybe 1 or 2 that I really wanted to meet up with again. But yeah, and then I'm sitting there afterwards trying to make sense of what happened, what exactly, and it could be that I was sitting there like, I'm like a libertarian, right? A conservative libertarian kind of guy, and I kept saying like, I'm glad we're here because we're here, like, all these people around us have the value system of like liberals, and we're not subject to that value system because we're here. This is the Christian singles event or whatever. And maybe that just assumed that they weren't Christian liberals. Maybe they were Christian liberals, and maybe I was just slapping them all in the face and not even realizing it. So yeah, maybe. Just crazy. And then when I think about some of the conversations I had, I think maybe that actually turned off a couple of them. So yeah, so you're just trying to make sense of how it happened, all that junk. Yeah, we'll just do that again. Why not? All right, one more for the road. Yeah. So yeah, what else? What else have I been? Yeah, just playing basketball. I've been playing basketball with some friends. It's been a lot of fun. Um, I don't know. Yeah, life is nice. I am talking to a lady though. She's really great. Um, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. So I got something cooking. I'm not like totally without hope as far as finding a wife goes. I got some stuff cooking, but I'm also highly confused sometimes. I'm definitely sometimes I go back and forth on a few things and it's kind of messing me up. But luckily, I've been using Grok as my therapist. And if none of you guys have tried that, you should try going to Grok. Try telling Grok, like, everything about why your life is messed up. I mean, my life is actually really not messed up. My life is actually really awesome. So I'm definitely not sitting here like, oh, let me tell you guys, it's really fucked. It's definitely not nearly that bad. But, I do think that AI will replace therapists. I mean, that's a whole train of thought you can go down. I think they'll replace lawyers for sure. So I actually do live next to someone who does law, and she uses AI all the time, apparently. That's just one thing, but I do think, like, when I look at the strengths of what AI is, it's logic and facts, and knowing facts, and being able to synthesize arguments or prompts, like all the things that lawyers do. Yeah, so I think they will be lawyers. They will replace lawyers in a few years. Or not in a few years, but they will eventually replace lawyers. But I think they'll definitely replace therapists too. Because I actually, I don't have to pay for it, so that's the main thing, right? I don't have to pay for a AI therapist. That's number one right there. Number two is that they're not getting bonuses for giving me what would it be? Behavioral drugs. They're not sitting there like, they're not gonna make some sort of bonus if they give me Ritalin or some nonsense ass bullshit like that. Like, no. So the AI doesn't necessarily have. So I mean, AI could have all kinds of warped incentives for sure. If it's programmed to be like left-leaning or right-leaning, I mean, that stuff will eventually show up in the AI, so it's definitely not a totally impartial. But compared to the kind of perverse incentive structures that we see with doctors and therapists all over the place these days, I think it's really obvious to claim that it's going to be a lot more unbiased. you know, when you talk to it, it does say, I mean, it could be lying, it does say it just trying to help you. Whereas, yeah, like I said, actual therapists. I mean, I haven't seen too many. I went to a couple as a kid, and then, yeah, I don't really know any better. But, I do definitely recall one or, yeah, I recall two of them just immediately wanting to throw me on as many drugs as my dad would fall for. You know, and it was just like, you know, as a kid, you don't know any better. And so you're like, well, let the experts, let the adults do the adult things. Whereas an adult, you're like, oh, like, yeah, these therapists we hired to give a shit actually don't care about you. They actually just want to sell you drugs. They want to get you hopped up on as many different drugs as they can for whatever bonus that they're trying to get. And there's only a couple, or there's one therapist and one school counselor I talked to that never had any interest in that. And so, in my experience, it's not all of them, but definitely some of them. But yeah, so if you have AI as your therapist, you're not going to have any of that BS, you know? Oh, I finally dodged that frickin' roar. Jeez. So yeah, that's kind of a big deal. Yeah. Why am I talking about AI again? Well, I was telling people to try and use AI as their therapist. Yeah. I mean, you don't have to. Well, I don't mean a lot by therapist. I mean, you can just spitball at your problems, you know? I don't mean like full-blown therapy, but if you need a wall to bounce ideas off of your life problems, like AI is pretty freaking good at it. Oh, I love seeing the modded monsters in the water too. It's just so awesome. And then I'm kind of curious what other people think about when they think about the forced, you know, because like, okay, if you have other hunts, there's all kinds of different locations and areas you can be in on the map when it comes to the hunts, right? You can be in this location, that location, this location, that location. Whereas with Lagiacrus, since he has to be, you know, you have to do the underwater thing every fight, he's always going to be in this location at the end. And I'm just kind of curious how that's going to feel after 100 hunts, you know? You can fight Arkveld in the Wounded Hollow, you can fight him in the plains, you can fight him in the forest, you can fight him in the Elder's Recess area thing. Wyverns, whatever. Whereas in this fight, you know, yeah, we always have to fight him in the Scarlet Forest, and we always have to end the fight here. Just because of the underwater combat. And it's obvious that you can see why they did that. But I'm also curious about how it feels to have like such a mono-local monster in that sense, you know? Let's see if I can kill it with Helix Pod. Why not? Nope. Conductive scale fragments. Time to die! Aha! Heavy piercing pod for the win. Oh man, like Lagiacrus is so cool, but man, these mods are like even cooler, I think. I love seeing the modded Lagiacrus, is so cool. Yeah, and then there's an Amethyst Lagiacrus. I haven't checked that one out yet. It looks like it's like a light purple. Not necessarily super purple. But yeah, AI therapists won't charge you per hour. They don't run out of attention either. Like, Man, there's a study that showed this with judges. It showed that judges were, over the course of their day, they were more likely to go with their default, their default decision making. Because at the start of the day, they had all this energy to discern whether or not someone is innocent or guilty or what they should be charged. But by the end of the day, they're just tired, so they're less able to think through things. And then I assume that therapists that work all day probably have the same issue. At the start of the day, if you get your meeting, they'll probably give you all the attention and concern and love and caring, all the wisdom that you need. Whereas if you're booking a therapist for 6 p.m., you know, you're probably getting like, oh yeah, how do you feel about that? How does that make you feel? What do you think? You know, you're getting that therapist. Again, AI therapist does not have any of that, any kind of idea or any kind of that issue. AI therapists obviously near infinite energy in all regards. So same thing with AI lawyer. You know, oh my gosh. Oh, we got that 5-star Lagiacrus. Oh my gosh, you guys see that? Dude, we got the 5-star. I've been waiting for the 5 difficulty all day. Okay, I was gonna log off, but no. We gotta fight this motherfucker. Alright. Okay. Okay. So I have to actually shut up and really try. So we are going to really try. We're gonna focus real good. I'll just go defender. Dude, I actually got the freaking 5-star finally. Finally, my god. Is this inclement weather? Or is this... Oh, this is fallow. Okay. Dude, awesome. But yeah, I'm gonna have to actually focus and shut up. I will not be able to talk very much. Not if I actually want to win. Okay. And just for kicks, I'm gonna throw in some dash juice. Oh, we got the dam too. Let's go. Okay. Get him! Dude, let's go. Oh, dude, I thought I died. Oh, snap. Dude, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I dodged that crap. Get out of here. Dude, I dodged that. Worthless Palico. Did you even heal me once? Man, I was gonna do that without fainting once. I'm pissed now.
More supplies have been added.
I am pissed. That was some bullshit. Too dark. I can't see. I got Johns for days. Okay. Oh, dude, I dodged that. Come on, man. Okay, we're good, we're good. I didn't die, right? So. Can't believe it just randomly spawned. Like, I just checked, you know, for the heck of it. Yeah, I'm getting way too greedy with my moves. Oh, let's go. Oh, okay. We're good, we're good. Dang, it is dark. It is, I think this is like nighttime fallow, so this is like really dark. But yeah, I've also, I've been playing 10-2 lately. I don't know if any 10-2 fans out there, Final Fantasy 10-2. So the big thing growing up was that I didn't have like every video game I wanted, and for whatever reason, my dad, he bought me Final Fantasy X-2. And yeah, before I found Monster Hunter, that was my favorite game of all time, for sure. I absolutely loved it. So we'll go for the tail. And I actually got such heavy nostalgia trips trying to play it like years ago again that I just stopped trying to play it. But recently I popped it back in and I started trying playing it again, and yeah, I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. It's probably be my second favorite game of all time. Not saying that it deserves to be my second favorite game of all time, but just that it is. Dude, I barely missed that. That's crazy. Dang, dude. But yeah, 10-2 is like, I don't know why I love it so much. It's just, other than that, you know, I kind of didn't have other games to choose from, but I don't know, I just really, very comforting for me to play that game again. Makes me feel like a little kid again. In a good way, though. Alrighty. Let's do it. Oh yeah, I was also like super disappointed in the Sergio's armor. Because I love Adrenaline Rush, and I love dashing for special sharpness, but I just don't think the damage like makes it worth it. Woo! Spicy. Oh my gosh. Redemption. Redemption! Get him! Wow. What? Okay, come on. Alright. Not bad. Damn. So I've killed them like what 30 times, and it's this cinematic still hasn't gotten old, so that's a good sign. Yeah, why is it always a shock trap? Don't you know, like, that's his natural defense, man? Come on. Thank you. Boo! Oh man, I'm gonna bust him up. What? The fuck? What did he just do? I was in the middle of my wound attack. How dare you, man? I got like 2 hits on the tail on that wound attack, and then he just dipped out of the way, man. What the frick? Now we learning. We're learning some stuff. We learning. Yeah. Jump out of that one, asshole. Yeah, I didn't think so. What the? Alright. He dead. Abyssal Lagiacrus. Dead. The hardest version. Yeah, maybe I do need that Monster Hunter mod. So there's most Monster Hunter difficulty mods increase the health and the damage and stuff. I got one that actually increases the attack speed. If you can believe it. I think it'd be like 1.3 the attack speed or some nonsense like that. So yeah, maybe that's what we need to do next. No, maybe, or maybe not. We'll see how good I get at fighting him. Oh yeah, I did get 30, so I got electric title. All right, everybody, that was a lot of fun. Thank you all so much for hanging out, listening to my crap about all that stuff. Really appreciate it. I had a blast. Man, you can barely see me. You can barely. I need to work on that. My lighting must really suck. But that's totally fine. All right. My gosh, camping. I don't know if that would have helped. Maybe a little bit. Oh, funny. Yeah, it would have helped a little. All right. Well, yeah. Like I said, thank you all for watching. Had a lot of fun. Really appreciate it. Yeah, like I said, so I might do Lagiacrus stuff in the future. If there's more the visual mods, I might just do this again. I might make it more difficult, or I might just start doing the world mods. So we'll have to see. But all right, yeah, thank you all. Appreciate it.